Sagittarius, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. General reading, take what works, leave what doesn't. Check your other major placements if I don't find your wavelength here. Yeah. That's the roll. That's the deal. I'm working with Oracle Mystical Moments for an intuitive vibe of where we're going, and then we'll move on to my brand new deck. Oh my gosh. For a more traditional spread. All right. We have quite a booklet, quite a little pamphlet here going on. All right. Needing to take a leap of faith. Changes, irreversible changes, some sense of companionship here, needing to take a leap of faith. Let's start with Lullaby. This is going to be your foundation for all of this movement and change and shifting. This is Lullaby. This is listening to your inner landscape, listening to your own vibe, your own vibration here. We're turning off the mind. We're turning off the mind. We're even turning off the sound, and we're just getting really still, really quiet and vibing with ourselves here. And what pops out? Our intuition right there. So he's not even playing it. It's just his own vibe. So just vibing with yourself, getting still, allowing that stillness to happen. Someone was telling me that, you know, when they meditate, all they see are just like all these crazy thoughts and how busy their mind is. And they thought they were doing it wrong, but that's how it is. There's like moments where you get this, but mostly it's just standing in shock at all of the random stuff that floats through your head, and trying to be non-judgmental about it. But this is a stillness, finding that stillness within, that peace within. There is a lot of peace within available to us. It's just a matter of accessing it and sometimes building the skills to do that. So you have a situation. It's unfolding. It's unraveling. Something's not quite what you planned it to be. There was a plan. It sounded good. It looked good on paper. But we're getting a redirection here because this thing's falling apart. The divine can see that this thing was always meant to fall apart. It was not what it appeared to be. Again, we're getting a top hat, that intellectual part of ourself, which is very important for discernment, for understanding things, for reading, for, understanding our world. It's hugely important. We're not turning off the mind forever, but there are points in time when it's really good to get into a different type of mode, a different type of not just receiving our thoughts. So something looked good. It seemed logical. It seemed very good, but it's falling apart. And I feel like you might be, based on the other cards here, you might be somewhere between here and here. You haven't yet grabbed your real, actual, new, you might be someplace on this journey, this point A to point B. We have the panic as everything falls apart in point A here, things not going according to plan, the unexpected, which was not unexpected from a divine perspective, was always meant to happen. But to you, you might be feeling a little shocked and a little unexpected surprise here. But you're capable of grabbing onto a better idea. This was all about getting you in position so that you could grab this. This one's got legs. This one's got a real idea, can actually go somewhere. But I feel like you're partway between that. Because of some of the other cards here. We have pure nature. Again, this is going to be, this is blowing apart. This is blooming. So this has to do with your own growth, right? Your own growth and progression and where you're going, and you're blooming here. You're blooming and you're changing in a way. This is sort of my puberty card. You can't go back. You can't go back to what you were before. This isn't, sometimes we turn over a new leaf, we start a new habit, and then a few weeks later, it's gone. It's not that big of a deal. It's just, I feel like it's a method of exploration, figuring out what parts of ourselves we can change and what parts we are going to need a lot of acceptance. So this is part of you. You are changing. You're changing in a very fundamental way. You're blossoming, you're growing. And I think it's in such a way as to be able to handle this situation. This situation is causing you to have to grow and change, right? This thing is never going back. It's not going back to the balloon you thought it was, because it never was the balloon, right? So the truth will set you free, but first it pisses you off, right? Or first it causes some panic, right? So the truth is that the truth is coming in, it's being revealed. The whole situation, including you, is changing. There's just like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of moving parts here. This is why we've got to do what we can to find that inner peace and that inner grounding, because there's a lot of moving parts. Your externals are moving, and then it's causing this massive change within, irreversible. All of this, we're moving forward. We're moving. Your situation's changing, and you're changing. It's all moving here. You are protected during this change. It's very frightening. This is the night ride. This is a frightening type situation. Well, not very, I don't know about frightening, but it is, it's dark, it's foggy. We don't necessarily know where we're going. We've teamed up maybe with somebody else, with a couple other people. Maybe someone remembers the way and someone has the vision. Maybe someone, you could be any character here. The stick-to-itiveness, and the strength and the ability to remember and the ability to move. This is, the athletic ability, and then this is the intellectual ability here. Maybe taking a break too while something else moves us through here. So there's some sort of teaming up. There's a lot of sort of magical support here in the dark. You're not in a black hole. There's light around. There's help. There's information available. It's not bright. It's not shining in your eyes. It's not obvious. But if you want to see it, it's there. All of the little helps, and I would say synchronicities, and even those interesting numbers that show up repeatedly in our lives until we don't need them anymore. It's very fascinating to me how that all goes on. So there's little winking lights from the universe helping you, maybe not helping you, but letting you know you're doing fine, you're doing okay, one step at a time, because this is a lot of big changes, inner and outer changes going on, and these are these little winks from the universe. You're doing okay, one step at a time, you can do this. I see a lot of fear and trepidation and leaping for this other thing here. And this is sort of, this night ride is telling you, yeah, it's scary, but you can do this. I really hated swimming lessons when I was a child, and I liked everything except for basically being shoved off the diving board. So you can imagine that, you might be feeling like you're being shoved off the diving board, but I feel like you've got a really good teacher. You've got someone in the water beneath you that's okay, either spiritually or obviously not literally, maybe literally, but there's support here. There's some sort of support system here. You've got, your teachers on the diving board with you. You've got the person. I still hated it, even with all of that support. I'll tell you when I'm ready to dive. Okay. I may just be 4, but I really know when I'm not ready to dive. So anyway, that's a little bit of, or jump into the water. Of course, I've been cliff jumping a lot since, but that was the first. That was awful. So there is a sense though that there is support, right? And you may be being a little shoved, a little pushed here, to your limit of, problem solving, but there is support here and you're exactly where you need to be. We have liberty here, right? You're free to go. You are free to make this leap. You're free to leap out of this sort of, logical, intellectual way of doing something and head into a more intuitive thing, redirection and new way. This had all the planning, months of planning, grids, spreadsheets, all that. This was a last minute decision that just had to be made. And we leapt. We took that leap. So this is why I'm seeing that you maybe haven't taken the leap yet, because we're also seeing you here. I see you at the end of the diving board, wanting to try a new way of maybe even functioning, maybe going more intuitive. It could be this, your nature, getting more in touch with your own true nature. This is getting in touch with it, doing that work that it takes to get in touch with your own true nature, getting in touch with your own true nature, possibly even your own intuition, and leaving behind this, this planning and needing things to be very planned and very orderly, and allowing some chaos in here, and allowing within that chaos some guidance within that chaos, and some intuitive movement and some intuitive leaps within that chaos. You know when you're ready, and making that leap. So that's where I'm seeing you're at with this reading, is the doors open, a leap is required in order for you to achieve some sort of dream that you've had for a long time, something that you've wanted to do, and maybe a lot of planning, and leaving that cage of the plans, leaving that cage of the expectations, leaving that all behind, and being able to take a leap of faith into a more free way of being, a more free way of your pure nature, leaping towards your pure nature and your a better understanding of how the freedom that you have to operate in this world without needing things to be planned out to the nth degree here. So then we also have House of Flowers, again, another companionship, and here it is, we're popping out. This is this life popping out of, again, a grid-like existence. You're free to pop out here, right? You're free to get in touch with your intuition, and you're free to move intuitively through this situation, because the logic of the situation and the planning of the situation have already busted open. Here we've got the grid right here. Again, we've got another message of support. There is support for you, mutual support and companionship here. But we've got this 4-square, very arithmetic, mathematical building, and we've got this life just popping out of it. It's going to take a leap of faith for you, but I see that, this pure nature rose, you're popping out here. You've got some intuitive leap, and it's going to bust through some sort of grid, some sort of situation that hasn't been working. But you want to be in touch with yourself. You want to be, that sounded weirder than I've ever heard it before. You're going to want to be really deeply connected to yourself, and just trust that when you do that work, that is what's happening, even if you don't feel like you're very intuitive, even though you don't feel like you're really like in contact. You can always rely on the preparation and that sense of, I have done my meditations. I have done whatever it is. I have made this spiritual connection. So even if I don't necessarily feel spiritually connected, I can be confident that I am, because I have at least done what I needed to do in order to make space for that part of myself. So yeah, breaking through some sort of cage is very logical. It's supposed to work out. But you're going to make an intuitive leap here. And you can have confidence in that intuitive leap because you've done the work of connecting with yourself and your intuition. All right, Sagittarius, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. So I have this very different deck. Did I tell you? Who's it by? I'll write it in the comments. Anyway, it's Spirit Speaks deck here. I'm still working with it. All right, we've got, in your recent past, we've got Ace of Pentacles. We have the beginning, the dawn of a new situation, a new job, a new situation in real life, in physical 3D, not just an idea. A lot of idea, maybe planning went into this, but in the past you had this new idea, you had this new job, could have been this trip you wanted to take here. There was a lot of planning, a lot of thinking about, oh man, I really would like this. Thinking about abundance, maybe even spending the potential earnings 5 times over in your mind, thinking about what you wanted to do with it. But something started. There was a vision, dreams, ideas. It was a big dream. It wasn't a tiny dream. It was something that you really wanted to make happen. And you had this start. You had this really promising start of where this was all going to go. And the abundance that this whole project had the potential to bring in, it was very exciting. You were ready for the journey. You were ready to put the work in. And it was this, it was an idea that got you out of bed and had you leaping up and saying, oh yeah, I want to do that work. Yeah, I want to go on that journey. Yeah, I want to reap those rewards someday. So you invested in something and you started something, something began. But in your current situation, we have this Nine of Wands. There's a sense of being a beleaguered, wounded warrior. Yeah, it's been a tough haul. You know, maybe we started off with all the hopes in the world, all the dreams, all that excitement, with a new beginning. But now we're in this Nine of Wands energy. It's a wing and a prayer here. We're not even sure we want to keep going. We're trying to stay focused. We're trying to continue on this journey, but there's a sense of exhaustion, of just wanting to disappear, of just wanting to lay down and quit. And there's just too much going on here. There's too much to take care of. And the Nine of Wands is our wounded warrior. You're still going. You're still trucking here, but it's on fumes, and you'd actually rather just go to bed and forget the whole thing. You've lost sight of the vision. You're not really into this anymore. And this has all gotten a little too much to handle. And, but you're going, you're going to keep doing it, keep doing what you're doing. But there's not a lot of heart and soul and enthusiasm. You are not jumping out of bed to greet the day anymore on this thing. It's just a slog. It's just a slog. You're showing up, but that's pretty much all we can say for what you're doing. You're showing up. Your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, we've got death. I like this on a Good Friday, which is when I'm recording this. I think you'll see it on a Saturday. This death card. This is our Good Friday weekend, or our Easter weekend card. This is the death, the tomb, the destruction of the old way, and the ushering in of the new will happen in a little bit. So this death card, this is the cocoon. The death card is the cocoon. You know, the cocoon, as I often say here, is the coffin of the caterpillar, but the womb of the butterfly. So you're hoping for a major transformation. You're hoping for something to change here, something to give. This old thing that's got you exhausted and worn out, and you don't really want to do anymore, but you keep doing it anyway because you have to. You really like some major transformation in that. This is not fun. This is not great anymore. You'd like it to be over, to be done with. So, and maybe you're not even thinking about the resurrection. Maybe you're not even thinking about the butterfly. I don't know. Does the caterpillar really think about the butterfly? It's the caterpillar, I don't think, has any idea what's about to happen to it. I think the caterpillar is just like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to make my own coffin here and I'm going to go die in it. But it doesn't understand that there's a resurrection into a new thing. It doesn't even care because it's so tired of being a caterpillar. It's over. It can hear the call of nature calling it to weave this cocoon out of, and you know, maybe it just thinks I'm just going to get cozy for a while. Just going to close my eyes just for a little bit. Just close my eyes for a minute and then just get some rest here. So there's a sense of needing not just a nap, but a really herkin big nap here with this death card. That's what you want. You want to lay down and have this thing be over and have something else. I don't even think you can think about what next. Just this thing, let's have it be over because you're done with it. You're tired. And what's at issue here? This is Eight of Swords. It's reversed. Oh, I love it. Yeah. That's this card. That's this card. This Eight of Swords reverse. This is the doors open and you're starting to see that. You're starting to see that you don't actually have to keep doing this. You don't have to actually keep showing up, slogging through, dragging your lead feet through this whole process. There's freedom here. There's freedom. And you're starting to see it. You're starting to see that the only way that you were trapped here, the only thing keeping you in this situation is you. Your expectations, your plans, your commitment to what you thought was going to happen, all of that. That's the only thing that's kept you here. And you're starting to wake up to that and understand how much freedom is actually available to you. There's a lot. There's a lot. It takes courage to access it. It takes leaps of faith to access it, but you're starting to see that maybe what's held you back and what's held you in this prison and kept you in this situation is your own mentality and your own, I don't want to say it, but maybe lack of imagination or lack of openness to the infinite possibilities that life can offer us. So starting to understand that you do have more freedom and more liberty in this situation than you thought. And then we have Three of Wands in your environment. There's something here that's giving you faith. It's giving you a little spark here. It's showing you what's possible. Okay, what you've got you don't like. And you're starting to realize what's possible, the amount of freedom that's possible. And so there's something here that's giving you a little faith. It's helping you see, oh, and then we like this one, and then this one, and then this one, and then it goes on and on and on. And then pretty soon the whole room is lit. Oh, I see. It doesn't have to be like this. I see. There's something in your environment that's helping you see other possibilities. It's helping you see that maybe the better idea is to grab onto one of these seats. I wanted to say something else, but one of those suckers. So you're starting to see there's something in your environment that's showing you, that's leading the way, that's giving you a glimpse into the possibilities of this freedom, the possibilities that are actually available to you, that you may not have allowed yourself to see the full range of these possibilities, but there's something in your environment that's showing you a different way to be, a different, that you don't have to keep doing this, that there's something else, there's something possible. And igniting your faith and helping you see that you can move forward, that you're not as trapped in this situation as you feel like you are at times. And then we have in your to-do list, the energy you need to be interacting with, we have King of Cups. This is emotional maturity. I love this trident. It's these tridents. It's about being able, I want to say self-control, but it's not self-control in like the controlled way, but it's emotional maturity basically, and being able to listen to your feelings and emotions and integrate them into your decision-making process. So it's this deep emotions coming up for you to look at. So it's just emotional maturity. That's what you're being called into. And in understanding, that other people have emotions, which is emotional maturity, and that they're all going to be interacting. And there could be some emotional chaos here, but you're staying steady. You're staying steady and connected to your own peace, you're committed to your own peace. That's what I see this King of Cups as. And you bring leadership into the situation by being committed to your own peace and your own emotional health and well-being. That radiates out. That brings peace to other people in the situation. And if not peace, then peace out. You can just go be not in peace over there. I get it. I understand. I have been not in peace myself. So no judgment, but it's not for me. So, but there's an ability to handle other people's upheavals and your own upheavals. So you want to be approaching the situation with a lot of emotional maturity, a lot of peace, a lot of calm. Like I said, this is the foundation for the whole reading. This inner peace and inner calm as you're dealing with a lot of upheaval, changes to yourself, changes to your environment, and the understanding that you do have a lot more freedom than you think you do. So King of Cups energy, leadership through emotional maturity. And that's not leadership like you need to listen to me. I'm going to tell you what you feel and how you need to feel it. That's like just by example and by not needing other people to feel certain ways or respond in certain ways, but the maturity to be able to handle other people's responses, whatever they may be, with compassion, as well as your own responses with compassion. So emotional maturity, and this steady inner peace and inner calm as we deal with the more passionate parts of human nature, ours and other people. So cultivating that inner peace and making your moves from that space. And then we have where you're possibly going is the Seven of Wands. This is so funny. This slot is like throwing me here. Seven of Wands. These cards, this is our Seven of Wands. And for some reason, every so often, there's like one in each reading that just kind of throws me. I'm like, what are we talking about? Seven of Wands. And then like, oh, Seven of Wands. I know exactly what Seven of Wands is. Seven of Wands. We are making space for our own vision, for our own dream. Like this Ace of Pentacles might have been someone else's idea that you went along with. But now you're grabbing onto your own wand here. We got our own wand. And you're making space for that. And you're elevating your own intuition and what you want and prioritizing that. It's not a mystery what you want. I don't think it is. But it is like this sense of your own intuition is going to start leading the way here. Because whatever other plan, it didn't work out and it's exhausted you. And so now you're going to make space for what you want. And you may have gotten crowded. This Nine of Wands to me means like not able to take care of yourself, not able to follow your own intuition, just the exhausting grind of something that's not inspiring to you. But this is you know what inspires you. Make time for it. Even if it's not a money maker, even if other people think it's ridiculous, especially if other people think it's ridiculous, make some time for it. You have more freedom than you think you do. So make time for yourself, make time. You know, out of this emotional maturity, you're grabbing onto your own wand and it's going to guide you and lead you, and you're making space for it. Again, you're making space for yourself. You're making space for your own intuition, right? We're making space for our own intuition to come out and lead the way. So there might be a lot of options, a lot of things vying for your attention, competing for, you know, needing you, and your job here coming up is making space for what you need, making space for your own path, your own journey, and your own passions, because not doing that is exhausting and does feel a bit like a prison. So, all right, Sagittarius, I hope that was helpful for you, and I'll see you next time.